What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of This Is The Year. And today is a very special day because one, it is very sunny in England, which is a rare occasion. Two, it's chest day. And number three, I've been for a food shop. So I've got majority of the foods that I will be eating now 8 weeks out from the first show. These are my staples. These are the things that I include in my diet and that keep me on track and able to reach my goals within this prep phase. A lot of these foods I've been using over the years. We have multiple protein sources, different variations, because I like to switch up my protein sources. We have multiple carb sources and we have multiple fat sources to go through. So we're going to start with protein sources first. And my main protein source of this prep is lean chicken breast. So I like to get the 4 kilogram boxes of this because obviously right now with everything skyrocketing, inflation, chicken is expensive. So I like to get it in bulk. And then I've got my chicken ready for the week. I can cook this in the air fryer, put some seasoning on it, use some 1-cal spray, and I can kind of use this chicken in any way that I want. I might make some chicken wraps. I might make some noodles. There's a lot of variation I can do with the chicken. So that is the first main protein source. The second protein source that I like to use is chicken as well, but it is Hex chicken sausages. So chicken sausages are a great tool to use when on prep. They keep things interesting. You're able to make chicken bagels. You're able to do a lot of things with these. And it kind of just switches up that plain, monotonous chicken source of protein. So you get to utilize this in various different ways. Another staple within the diet. Number three is, I don't know if a lot of you guys and girls like them at home, but I like king prawns. I use these quite a lot. It adds a bit of variety again to my protein sources. And I like to just get a varied range of protein sources. So some from seafood, some from white meat, some from eggs, protein, actual powder, and some from red meat. Right guys, so moving on to the next lot of protein sources. Very simple, very basic stuff, but it is key staples to my diet right now. So we've got cod fillets. I like to buy these from Asda, a couple of packs of these a week. Next we have eggs. This is an absolute go-to. I utilize these within probably 2 of my meals. I make protein pancakes with them at night time. I make omelets first thing in the morning. And I only use the egg whites out of these though, so I don't use any yolks. I get fats from elsewhere. And a lot of you guys are probably thinking, why don't you just buy the plain old egg whites that are ready to go? I used to use those back in the day, about a year, 2 years ago, but I found that they weren't really like real eggs and they used to cook a bit funny. And I just like to use the real thing. So full pack of eggs, we've got 60 eggs here. This will probably last me a week. I do tend to do a food shop every 2 days. I seem to be in Asda every 2 or 3 days, spending £70 each time. So if you are getting into bodybuilding and you are getting into competing, just be financially ready because this is a lot of money to be spending. However, if you are not going out for meals and you're not spending takeaways and buying, crap every other day, you are saving money there. And then you can kind of put that money into your nutrition and buy some staples at home. On the other hand, a lot of people like to get very plain foods. You can do this shop at Aldi and spend probably 2/3. You could probably spend a third less at Aldi and get the majority of stuff from there. But I am very picky and I like to enjoy my diet and enjoy my food. For me, that just keeps me on track. And one thing that I like to include is Kvarg yogurts. These are pretty pricey towards the standard yogurts, but these are absolutely amazing. Such a good tool to keep you on track. The small ones contain 15 grams of protein, only 80 calories, and they are just unbelievable. Such a good treat, such a good little snack at night time. And if I'm feeling really, really hungry, I will use the larger ones, which are 50 grams of protein. These are literally so big, like my hands like that. It's like a full pint of ice cream. So dash a little bit of cinnamon in there, a little bit of sugar-free syrup, blueberries, and you've got yourself a nice dessert-style treat. They do 2 flavors of the large ones. They do raspberry, they do white chocolate, but my all-time favorite is the goat. I don't even know how you say that, bro. Stratellia. It's Italian, I think. It's got chocolate chips in, that's all I know, and it's absolutely unreal. So they're the go-to. They absolutely saved my life on prep. I really recommend them if you are in a cutting phase, and I use them with my clients quite a lot, and they love them. So that is all the protein sources, other than like, you know, your standard stuff. I haven't got any red meat today. I utilize this once or maybe twice a week. I'm not a massive red meat eater unless the body is craving it or I really fancy it. Right guys, so moving on to carb sources. This is the most fun bit, the most exciting bit, and the thing that gets pulled the most throughout the diet. So at the beginning stages, you know, we start off with quite high carbs. Life's good, and then we slowly start to decrease that carbohydrate intake as we get leaner and leaner and as we get close to the show. So I utilize various food sources along the way. Some I use at the beginning, some I keep the whole way. Depends how voluminous they are, depends how much I enjoy them, and it depends how much they aid in my goal. So one staple that is kept the entirety of the prep is Scottish oats. So these are absolutely amazing. You all know about oats anyway. A lot of you probably have them in your diet, but I utilize these a lot. Protein pancakes, oats in the morning, various other ways and things you can do with these. Another source that is very much kept in the whole time is cream of rice. So this is a very, very good carb source, very fast acting. I like to use this before the gym in my pre-workout meal. The best flavor of all time, in my eyes, is cinnamon swirl from Bodybuilding Warehouse. Absolutely 10 out of 10, beautiful flavor, and it just keeps me on track on prep. A little bit sweet, so you feel like you're having some sort of dessert. That is another staple that's kept in the entirety of prep. Another great carb source is obviously sticky Thai jasmine rice. I like to get the VT pots. So one pot of these, you can kind of snap it off, is about 40, I think you're talking about 42 grams of carbs. So a full packet is about 80. And this is just for convenience, guys. Like I've not got time to be kind of making rice and doing all that kind of stuff. So for me, this works. You know, my physique doesn't look any different from it, and it just ensures that I can adhere to the diet, adhere to the protocol, and get to my goal. So that's another great carb source that I include. We can't forget about bagels, man. Cinnamon and raisin bagels. A lot of you guys and girls have probably used these before and probably still use these. I like to get different versions, so sometimes I use the cinnamon and raisin regular. Sometimes I get the Thins Warburton cinnamon and raisin. So in one of these, you can have 2 Thins for the size of one, so it depends what's going on the day. As I say, I am using macros, and I just make sure that I hit my macros throughout the entirety of the day. For now, I do utilize regular ones because my carbs are quite high. As I get a little bit deeper in prep, I might opt for a Thins bagel to kind of get rid of 20 grams of carbs and save that for later on, or save that for another meal within the day. Moving on to the next carb source, which is an absolute lifesaver. I do have a video of me making these stir fries, and we'll see if Lewis can chuck it up on the screen for you guys, but Singapore curry noodles from Amoy. This brand is absolutely amazing, and I like to get their light soy sauce as well to go with it. So one packet of these is 32 grams of carbs. That's it in a full packet, and it makes such a voluminous meal. Like I say, you can put the prawns in there, you can put the chicken in there, you can dice up some beef, you can make a lot of different things with these and add, you know, vegetables, add salad, and really bulk out that meal and make a very voluminous meal that leaves you satiated for a long, long time. So that is an absolute staple. That will be staying in to the very end. And lastly, but not least, to be honest, guys, I didn't get the full food shop because I go so many times. So a lot of these foods are the main staples. I might miss the odd food, but these are the key ingredients to my diet right now. Snacker Jacks, different flavors, salt and vinegar, sour cream and chive. I do like to get the chocolate chip ones, and I do like to get the caramel ones, but a lot of people are getting the caramel ones. So I need to stop giving out these secrets, man, because I can't find any caramel Snacker Jacks anywhere. I've just got to stick to these ones. But these ones are more like, I see these as Pringles. So this is like your salt and vinegar Pringle. This is like your sour cream and chive Pringle. And it just gives you something to crunch on, something that lasts and is very little in calories. So for example, one of these is 38 calories, 0.3 grams of fat, and 7 grams of carbs. That is it in a full one of these. So these are a great tool to use, guys. These will keep you on track, and it's just about making mindful and wise choices, because in a tub of Pringles this big, there's thousands of calories. You could opt for a few of these. You can, you know, enjoy all these different kinds of foods. Yeah, you might spend a little bit more money, but it'll keep you on track and keep you from buying takeaways, and just make sure you are enjoying life, enjoying food, but reaching your goals whilst doing so. So that is all the carb sources done. So moving on to fat sources and my hacks for prep. So my tips and tricks that keep me on track. Decided to combine these two together because there are not many external fat sources that I do like to use, other than really peanut butter, all natural, smooth peanut butter. And the hack with this is I do like crunchy, but smooth enables you to have more volume with your peanut butter. So you're able to kind of spread that surface area out of your peanut butter, and things like that on prep is, as stupid as it sounds, makes a big difference with your meals. So smooth is the go-to. As I say, I don't have a lot of external fats. I get fats from the foods that I'm eating. Peanut butter is another source that I will utilize. Avocado is another great source, and I kind of use that a little bit closer to the show, especially on those days where you are carb depleting. So avocado is used a lot around that time period. In terms of hacks and things that keep me on track on prep, I'm just going to start off with the simple stuff, which is salad. Bags of salad, you know, convenience, Romanian lettuce, lots of mushrooms, lots of veggies, lots of peppers. This kind of enables me to hit my macronutrients, bulk out my meals and volumize those meals, and ensure that I stay satiated and fuller for longer. And I just get all my micronutrients in and fiber throughout the day. So that is a great tip. The hack to it is just getting bags of it so that you definitely, maybe it's not as fresh, yeah, maybe it's not as good, but it ensures that you get it done and you do stick to eating your greens and getting them in, because you constantly, I mean, I prep my meals in terms of like mushrooms and peppers, but how busy I am, this works for me. And I'd rather a client do the same if it ensures that they can get it in. So that's the first main hack slash tip that I have on prep. The next one is utilizing almond milk. Almond milk is a great source of milk instead of using regular milk. For 200 mil, it's only 50 calories. So a couple of splashes of that a day in coffee and in protein pancakes. I do measure it. However, I don't measure it in my coffee in the morning because I keep that variable exactly the same every single day, so it doesn't make a difference. And that's the same with the lettuce. I don't weigh any lettuce. I just use exactly the same amount daily. I might be a 20 to 50 grams under or over, but if you get that meticulous with it, you're kind of thinking into it a little bit too much. Just track your main foods, stick to it, make sure you know you're actually eating enough protein and hitting your macros, and that is the main key to reaching your goals in this game. Moving on to some of the condiments and some of the other hacks, I use 1 cal spray. Never use oil in the pan, always use 1 cal spray. That just keeps your calorie intake down. I love this 0 calorie salted caramel barista shot from Skinny Foods. I put this in my coffees in the morning, gives it that sweet taste. Almost tastes like a Starbucks, but you know, you're at home. So perfect tool to utilize before fasted cardio. Absolutely unreal. Pink salt, this isn't really a hack, but obviously it just aids in the pump, electrolyte balance, all that kind of stuff. We utilize that on prep. This is a hack for sure. So lightest herbs Philadelphia. There we go, that was a hack. So lightest herbs Philadelphia spread. This is amazing stuff. Sometimes I put this on omelettes if I'm not using cheese. Sometimes I use protein cheese, but it just adds so much flavor to your meals for like hardly any calories. So for example, 30 grams of this is 26 calories only. You can put this on your bagels. It's just a great tool to use. 0.8 grams of fat per 30 grams. And if you kind of scoop out 30 grams and have a look at it, you're talking like it's almost too much for a bagel. It's really, really good. So goes a long way and it adds a lot of flavor to your meals. Next up, we have sugar-free syrup. I don't like to use tons and tons of sugar-free stuff on prep because last time I used a little bit too much, and I can see that it sometimes affects your midsection a little bit or your digestion if you do overuse it. So I just use a little bit of this in my oats, and it's just a great thing that goes a long way and spices up those plain meals. So that's another great tool to be using. Cinnamon, that's just an obvious one. Cinnamon's a go-to. Sriracha hot sauce. So this is basically no calories per serving. So 100 grams of this is 141 calories, but you're only going to use about 10 grams on your meals. So I use sriracha a lot of the time for all of my meals right now. At the beginning of prep, I was using low-cal ketchups and things like that, but they hold a little more calories within their macronutrient profile. So I like to use hot sauces right now. And then finally, we've just got jams, honeys, and then the drinks that I use on prep. These are the main hacks that get me through it. So chamomile and honey tea. This is 10 calories per serving. Very, very, very good. Just a nice sweet drink that you can have at nighttime or in the morning. Just make sure you are tracking these variables, because if you're having too many of these things over the course of the week, they do amount to a lot more calories than predicted. Diet sodas. This is the main hack on prep. This shit keeps you going, man. Like when you're dying in work or you're dying in between meals, this stuff bridges the gap. I don't recommend drinking a full pack a day. 1 to 2 cans a day is optimal and is ideal and won't really upset your midsection or your stomach. It just ensures that when you get deeper into prep, when you're flagging, it's almost like a meal. So you can utilize this in between meals and it feels like your stomach's full and you don't really want to eat any food. So that's a really great hack. And then last but not least, save the best for last, bro. The white angelic goat, the white monster. So this is a meal right now. I literally class this as a meal. It keeps me full, keeps me going, gives me energy. And I'm not gonna lie, in prep, I probably overuse these, and you shouldn't do because they're not the best for you. So I don't recommend smashing 4 monsters down a day, because obviously the ingredients, the caffeine is not the best for you. But if you are doing cardio, you are drinking a lot of water, you are eating a lot of good foods in your diet, 1 monster a day isn't gonna harm you. So I love using these on prep. Such a great tool, a little bit of flavor, and just a great hack overall. So they're the majority of my food sources, my carb sources, proteins and fats. And then I've just thought I'd run to a little bit of diet hacks, tips and tricks that I use, just to give you a bit of advice for your cutting phases, because I know even if you're not going on stage, a lot of you guys and girls are getting lean for summer. And with that being said, if you do want to join my coaching program or want to hire me as a coach, click the link in my bio and send in your application, and I'll be happy to get back to you and join the team, because summer's coming. We are 12 weeks out from summer, and all of these foods will help you get there when set up in the correct manner with the right macros. So certain things are not off limits. It doesn't mean eat plain and eat boring, because as you can see, there's a lot of variety to my foods, and this is probably 3/4 of the diet. So I hope you guys enjoy this little segment to the video. I'm very excited to show you more of this prep. Today we're going to be doing chest, so it's a very, very exciting, fun day, probably the best day of the week. And yeah, we're going to get to it. We're going to make a pre-workout soon, show you guys that, and then see you on the way to the gym.
I am Pluto. Never forget, never forget. Okay. I'm so groovy. I got power. I'm so groovy. I got power. That's your bitch. I just bought it. Oh, that's your bitch. I just bought it. Perks and Miley, Plain Jane, I just fucked the face,
Right guys, what is good? We are finally on the way to the gym, ready to train chest. We have our Ghost pre-workout. We've drank the monster, we're fueled up and ready to go. So it's a beautiful sunny day in England, which is very rare, so making the most of it and enjoying it. And yeah, I just want to give you guys a little update on week 4 of prep. So sent check-ins to the boss man on Sunday morning. He was super pleased with check-ins. I was super pleased with the way I look, the fullness we're bringing and the package we are creating so far. So definitely going to be the best look to date. I'll get Lewis to throw up a couple of those check-in photos on the screen right now so you can see what I am talking about and see how my physique has started to change. In terms of macronutrients, we're still running the same amount of macros as last week. So training day is still at 400 grams of carbs, 280 grams of protein and 50 grams of fats. As for non-training day macros, we're at the same protein, so 280 grams, Carbohydrates have dropped to 300 grams, creating that, you know, that big deficit now. And then fats are still at 60. That leaves us at 2,860 calories. So creating that deficit now across the week. Cardio's sitting still at 30 minutes a day, and steps are at 10K. So just thought I'd update you guys on all of that information. Mentally, I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. We're only in week 4, so I don't expect to be flagging or anything. But this process this time around is really teaching me, you know, how to stay more energized, perform better, you know, keep calories a little bit higher throughout the week. You don't need as many off-plan meals because you're not creating like too much of a harsh deficit. And yeah, I'm just feeling mentally and physically the best I've felt in a long time. So excited to run you guys through chest. We're gonna sip on this now, get this in our system, get our minds right, and then it's the best day of the week. Chest day, the best day. So we'll show you what we're doing for chest. Chest by its push. There is a little bit of side delts and a tiny bit of triceps. And then I think I'm going to add a sprinkle of abs. So we'll show you all that, guys. We're going to head to the gym now, and we'll catch you at the gym when we're on our first exercise.
Sitting in the vert, got it out of dirt, courtroom float, now I'm saying court side with your vote, and it's work miracles, Benji subliminal, up down Lenny's, all about the Benjis, pour a little Henny, told him to see me, make the love with my diamonds on honeycomb, hit him with a stick, I just kept the
Right guys, so chest bias push day, and the first movement today is going to be a seated pec deck. I am at a different gym to my usual gym, so this pec deck is slightly different and accentuates a different area of the chest. It's more of a scooping under pec deck, so with that I've adjusted the seat accordingly because setup is key on all these movements, especially chest. Making sure the seat's at the right height, the movement pattern is correct for you is very vital in ensuring that you activate your chest to its maximum capacity. So that's where I used to go wrong on chest. I used to rush the movements, I used to not set the seat up correctly, and then I wouldn't give each movement enough time in a training block to really understand that movement pattern and connect with that movement pattern. So that's what we've been doing. We've been doing pec deck for a while now. We got really good at it, but as I say, this one is slightly different, so I'm just making those adjustments and tweaks so that I can feel it in my pecs. So 2 feeder sets, 1 heavy top set, and then 1 back off. So I'm gonna put the weight up now. This is gonna be my second feeder set. Nothing too crazy. 15 to 20 reps. And just push blood into the pecs and make sure I'm thinking about my biceps meeting together in more of a popping action instead of rounding over with the shoulders, because that's gonna put a lot of emphasis on my front delt, a lot of emphasis through the biceps and through the arms. So I want to really keep that chest up, drive through the elbows, drive bicep to bicep, and do it that way. Right guys, so second feeder set of this exercise. We're going to aim for about 15 to 20 reps here. And a couple of good cues for you guys on chest is retract that scapula. With this movement, I want to keep a bit of a gap between my lower back and the bench, so that my shoulders can stay down, my chest is above my shoulders, and I'm thinking about driving my biceps together and popping them together using all my chest. I don't want to round over my shoulders like this, because then my front delts are coming into it and my arms are coming into it. So really ensure that you're mindful of that and you're more so thinking about popping the pecs together and using the chest to drive the load forward. Round and wide like you're hugging a tree, and just get good contractions and really good squeezes. With this pec deck, I like to use a thumbless grip. For me, it just enables me to like feel the chest a little bit more. For you guys, you might want to hold it with a proper grip. It's all preference, just do what you feel comfortable with. Right, here we go.
Yeah. Coming in and out, in and out, in and out. Drop spot, boom. Got the money coming in, it ain't no issues. I just fucked a rapper, bitch, I shouldn't dish shoes. Got the Mac 11 cocky, got the kick too. Serving nigga like the Weezy in my house shoes. The baby mama fuck me better when
full stack, baby. So we are stacking the pec deck today. Top set. We have been utilising this weight since the end of the off season. So the whole kind of priority this prep is to sustain and, you know, keep that tissue. And the way we're going to do that is keep training as heavy as we can all the way into the show. Yes, we might have a little bit of a pullback towards the show as we get a bit more fatigue and as carbs drop a little bit, but keeping that weight as heavy as possible and matching that end of the off-season weight is what is going to ultimately enable us to keep this tissue. We're not looking at growing right now, but I am training as if I am trying to grow. So don't let off the gas, make sure you're still going as heavy as you can. And yeah, if you're not stacking, you're not marking, bro. So let's get it. Big set. Still the same form.
You know my right wrist, authentic, I can glorify. That bitch a bill cost 250, I'm a big dog. It ain't no sense of holding back on my use shit, I ran up me a sack. Fucking with the strippers all in G5. And as soon as the club
Wow. That's a heavy set. That's what it takes. All the way to failure. Right, guys. Just going to add a little 2.5 on there. We're just going to do one more top set because that was a really good set, but I feel I can get more out of it with a heavier weight. So throwing in an additional set in isn't going to harm us right now. Still 8 weeks out. Just going to try and go for maximum load here.
Got the money coming in, it ain't no issues. I just fucked the rapper, bitch, I shouldn't dish you. Got the 11 clock and got the kick too. Serving niggas like no beef in my house shoes. The baby mama fuck me better when the rest do. I just fucked the rapper, bitch, I should dish you. Suck my dick, she can't have my bitch, she kiss you. I fucked this R&B, bitch, I should thank you. Them dudes coming in like the John Doe crew. They put a number on your head and tryna snake you. I'm about to take them out the game, nigga, fuck you. They got me going insane, now it's fuck you. I let my brother fuck the bitch, he got the dog food. I done to get a half a ticket for a walkthrough. I fuck the Super Bowl bitches down in Houston. I got this west side freak that like boosting. I built my empire up like Lucius. Hey, give me pounds, give me bricks, I'm a nuisance. I make the vlogs with your bitch cause I'm ruthless.
Oh, that feels good, man. So moving into an incline plate loaded hammer strength machine. A little bit different again to the usual one. It's very much shoulder dominant, so you have to really get your chest up and really think about your elbow placement on this one. And just driving those elbows together, squeezing the pecs. A really good tip for you guys on chest, if you don't really feel it that well, is to just really slow down those eccentric portions of the movement and really take your time through that negative, because that's going to enable you then to connect with the chest and to make sure you're not using secondary muscles to get that load from A to B. Breaking it down into like really slow negatives will activate the pecs that much more, so always remember that and just really try and focus on these sets and get your mind in the muscle.
Got the money coming in, it ain't no issues. I just fucked the rapper, bitch, I shouldn't dish you.
Yeah, Instagram and YouTube. I try to do it on the weekend, man, so yeah, just that one, bro.
The baby mama fuck me better when the rest do. I just fucked the rapper, bitch, I shouldn't dish you. She suck my dick, she can't home, I bet she kiss you. I fucked this R&B, bitch, I should thank you. Them dudes coming in like the John Doe crew. They put a number on your head and tryna stank you. I'm about to take them out the game, nigga, fuck you. They got me going insane, fuck you. I let my brother fuck the bitch, he got the dog food. I done to get a half a ticket for a walkthrough. I fucked them Super Bowl.
7 reps, bro. Not too bad. So that was our top set, 3 plates. Now I'm going to back off and take a 20. Take a 20 plate off. Maybe put a 5 on, and then try and get that for more reps to failure.
I get cash money like a Mac man. I just put a rapper bitch on game. I been smoking rapper weed with my gang. I just slam thuggin' bitch on the bank. Got the money coming in, it ain't no issues. I just fuck the rapper bitch, I shouldn't dish you. Got the Mac 11 cock, got the kick too. Serving nigga like no easy in my house shoes. The baby mama fuck me better when the rest move. I just fuck the rapper bitch.
Right, guys, so third exercise of this chest by push day, and it's one of my favorite pieces of equipment, and that is the Smith machine. So we're doing a low incline Smith machine. We're gonna do 5 sets, 2 or 3 feeders, 1 top set, and then 1 back off set. With this movement, I suggest you play around with your elbow placement and make sure your chest is up again. So that's prime Tip on chest, you've got to really make sure you're pushing through your pecs and not pushing through your delts. For someone like me who's got pretty big delts, they do take over my chest, so I've got to be mindful of that, and I've got to really connect with my chest. So first set, we're just going to do 20 kilos a side. Take this to 20 reps and then move up from there. $40 delts, baby. Diet, do your cardio every single day and train your absolute arse off. And it comes to fruition, all your hard work. It pays off. And it's literally the best feeling ever. When you execute on plan and you do this for yourself and you show up every single day and tick all the boxes, you see what you're building in the mirror. It's a masterpiece from all the little decisions that you've made over the course of the 12-week prep. And nothing really beats it because it's all down to you and you put all of your effort into this. And it is priceless. No matter what place you get, no matter where you place, as long as you know you've done everything in your power to beat yourself and better yourself and transform your physique and mindset along the way, then you can't fail. And you just got to keep attacking that dream and attacking that goal every opportunity that you get. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put some more weight on the bar and yeah, we're going to titrate this up. I don't know if we'll just press with 3 plates, bruh. There's 3 on there. 3 and 2. That's the secret, bro. That's the secret to a big chest. Classic physique, bro. 2027. We'll need some legs for that. We'll need some legs. Right guys, last chest exercise of this push day, and it's going to be a cable high to low fly. So with this movement, I'm thinking about the cable being just above shoulder height, and it's almost like a pressing motion, leaning into it, resist, 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 fight the negative, feel it in the pecs, and then drive and squeeze, and get out. And that's how we're going to get all these chest fibers. See all the cross striations? That's where we want to be squeezing and thinking about doing the most muscular and activating the pecs. We don't want to come back like this and use the trapped shoulders. I'm thinking about staying round and wide and then driving the chest together with the bicep to bicep kind of analogy that I use. The Q, elbow to elbow, bicep to bicep, pop that chest together. So I'm going to start off here, a little bit above, so level 15 for me, perfect. Same on this side, and then super light weights for the first one just to get a feel. Right guys, so we've got onto the shoulder part of the workout, and now we're doing 2 side raise exercises. The first one is a seated side lateral raise machine. Really like this machine here. The biomechanics of it just allow you to really use the medial delt and put a lot of strain and emphasis on that cap of the delt instead of letting the traps take over. So a little bit more volume on this, higher reps, more sets. And we're just going to take them all the way to failure and get a really good shoulder pump for those 3D delts. and then a few passes at the end. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing in every single set. Just really connect with the delts and utilise your delts to do the movement. If you guys can't feel your side delts, definitely use the cuffs, do cuff side raises, and set up a bench like so, and it's just all side delts. You cannot not feel it on these are crazy. Absolutely goated side delt exercise. So thanks to my coach, we put this in. I didn't really utilise these before I started working with Cal, and I really feel like they've added to my side delts and that kind of top line and stuff. So I'm going to take these sets to failure. 5 sets of this, couple of feeders, 1 top set, 1 back off, usual protocol, and then we're going to end the workout on triceps. So stay tuned, guys. Woo. Nice. All the way to failure and beyond. Right guys, so last exercise of today's chest biceps push day is going to be a double rope tricep extension. The reason for the double attachment is that we can get a little bit more leverage, we can get a little bit more range of motion and get an extra contraction and a maximum contraction on the triceps instead of shortening that range and not really getting full range of motion through that movement. It just really allows you to maximize that contractile portion of the movement and really just focus on that squeeze. So that's the main reason for doing it. Similar setup in terms of sets. Just going to do a warm up now to get a bit of blood in triceps. I know I've done presses and I know I've done things that incorporate the triceps, but they're not as warm as they could be. So I've really focused on squeezing my chest and my shoulders today. So I'm going to warm up here, super lightweight, about 25 reps. Keep the shoulders down and just squeeze the triceps. Fight the negative like usual. Get a full stretch all the way and then drive and squeeze. Done. Really good fucking session, guys. So that concludes our chest biceps push day, and we are currently 8 weeks out. So really appreciate you guys supporting the channel, all the love you give me, all the boost you give me. And yeah, we're just going to continue to show you what we're doing on prep, the good days, the bad days, and then obviously the show day. So stay tuned for more videos, and thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in episode 4. Peace.